Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to talk about the interview call. So this is the call that either happens during that first prospecting call, if you can get it, or this happens in the second call that you set up with the business owner. So expect for this call to be about 30 to 45 minutes, which is why a lot of times the business owner may not have the time when you call them the first time. And obviously we want to float that balance between pursuing a potential customer versus just being flat out annoying. So a lot of customers that we're going to pursue, they don't know that we have something that they need, and we need to educate them on that. For other people, they're not going to buy. Like, you could literally have a cure for cancer and they're still not going to buy it, and they could be dying. So like, we're not going to pursue people like that. And if you get this interview call set up on that first prospecting call and the person just continues to put you off and off and off, forget them and make sure you let them know. Basically, you can call them, leave them a voicemail. You can just literally say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I feel a little bit disrespected by you. I get that you might be busy. I'm busy as well. And unfortunately, I don't have the time to continue trying to set this up. So we're going to go ahead and move on to one of your competitors, and we'll probably go ahead and interview other businesses. So thank you so much, and take care. That a lot of times will make the business owner call back, be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, can we please still be interviewed for this?" So it kind of acts as two birds, one stone. Yeah, two birds, one stone. That's it. You remember the welcome training? I had that issue. Yeah, we're still having that issue apparently. So anyway, what was I even saying? It tends to work in two ways, and that's that it can get the business owner to realize, oh my gosh, like they're pulling it off the table. So pulling something off the table often will make someone jump. It'll make them bite. And then the other thing is, if they're actually not interested, then we've cut it off and we're done with it, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so anyway, again, try to set this up if you can. Ideally, you get this done all in one call. And this doesn't always have to be 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes it can be a 20-minute call with the prospecting. So it just depends on how the conversation goes, how much the business owner wants to chat, and so forth. But anyway, this interview call is it can be anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Just depends on the business owner. So our main goal is to give them enough information to make a decision, and then try to close the sale on the interview call. So if you're doing it in the prospecting call, you're meshing those two together. We're trying to go in for the close on this interview call. Okay. Now, this does not. If you're doing an in-person meeting, the rules are completely different. If you're in an in-person meeting and you're actually going face-to-face, you're going to be able to use a whole different set of tools. Okay, and we might talk about that in another meeting, that maybe not. Anyway, so our goal for this call is to close. And to close, we have got to educate them. So you have now gone through your brief education on the process. So you have the ability to educate them on every facet of what we can do for them. Okay. Now, some key points here. Be laid back and friendly. Just let the culture of what we're doing here at Sagalo Media, let that bleed through. We're laid back, we're fun, but we're also professional. And be genuine. I will never be able to say that enough. Business owners will read right through the fact that you're not genuine, okay? It is the single most damaging thing that people do not do in sales, is they're honestly just dishonest. They don't care about the person. They don't care about even what they're selling, and they don't believe in what they're selling. And you will fail if that is your mindset. That is why I'm trying to beat into you that what we have to offer these business owners is freaking medicine, okay? Like, we are able to really help them. We're not just trying to make a quick buck. We are truly able to come alongside these business owners and give them something that they have never seen before. And we're able to literally put food on the table for the kids. Believe in what you're selling. Believe in it, okay? And when you believe in that, when you come to present this offer to the business owner and you truly believe in it, the genuineness that you feel is going to bleed through the tone of your voice. I mean, you can probably feel it in mine. Like I've had the amazing fortune of having like a client literally like in tears, talking about how much we have been able to do for them. Because guys, these business owners, this is their life, this is their livelihood. When we get to come and help them succeed, they're so incredibly grateful. So like I've had the good fortune of seeing that. That's why I really believe in what we're doing here, and I'm hoping that you'll get to see that too soon. But anyway, just let the genuineness of this bleed through, and even more so than that, genuinely get to know this person. These people are amazing. Everyone's got something good in them. It doesn't matter if the person's aggressive, if they're assertive, if they're super quiet, if they're really annoying. Everyone has got something good in them, and a lot of times it just takes us to be able to dig and get it out of them. Because we're going to talk about this here in a minute, but you're going to need to listen very well to be able to pull that out later on, because we're going to compliment them and be genuine about it too. So anyway, again, just be laid back, be friendly, be genuine. For every question that you ask, so we're going to go through some questions down here. Every question that you ask, this is not a, you ask the question, they talk, you ask the next question. It is, you ask a question, you make conversation with them, you maybe relate to them, you be friendly, tell stories. They might say something and you, haha, yeah, you know, like when I was, you know, in this situation a couple of years ago and I did this, this, and this, it was pretty funny, and like relate to them. This is normal human communication, okay? We're trying to build rapport. We're trying to build that relationship. And again, do it in a genuine way. If you're not feeling genuine on a certain day and you feel like you're just like half-assing it, just take the day off, okay? Like we don't want to be having you go out making phone calls and you just sound like a total dud, okay? We're trying to build that relationship with the client. If you don't feel capable of doing that on a certain day, take off and go work on something else, okay? Don't call. If you find that you're seeing that happen every day, then this may not be a good position for you, because this is a people position. You have got to love people. And anyway, I'm getting off on tangents here. Just be friendly, okay? That's what I can't express that enough. Keep very good notes on your client. Okay, when you're asking questions about their life, keep notes on them. You might have a Google Doc for them. You might keep track of it in Trello. Keep track of their kids' names, their spouses' names, their just random facts about them, funny things that they say, or a story. So when you're talking to them in the future, you can bring something up. And I'll tell you what, when you ask a client that you haven't talked to in maybe a month or two, like, hey, how is Joe and Amanda doing? They're two kids. How's Joe and Amanda doing? They're like, Joe's great. He's finishing up 8th grade, and he's getting ready to play baseball in this summer. And Amanda, you know, she's finishing up 2nd grade. And like the people want to talk about what they're prideful in, okay? And people's kids are, I mean, nothing. I mean, you talk about someone's kids, you're pretty much in a gold mine. And again, genuinely ask, like, letting someone talk about their family is awesome. Like, you get to bring joy to them just by letting them brag about their kids a little bit, and just give them the platform to do that. Okay, so you will not remember. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not saying that you won't, but you probably will not be able to remember all of these business owners' kids' names and all of their birthdays and all of these random facts. Just keep notes on them. If I go into a meeting and someone says something that's very unique, I keep a note. So in my phone, I'll pull up a whole thing of notes. I have all these notes on people. It probably is a little creepy, but I have their birthdays. If I meet someone new, I'll keep track of their name and random facts about them. So next time I see them, I go up to them and I say, hey, how are you doing with this? And they're like, oh, you remember. And it's just like makes them feel really special. Okay. Okay, that kind of is a good segue into this next part here, is really get to know them on a personal level, okay? So in this interview call, we're trying to build rapport, we're trying to build a relationship, but we're also trying to educate them. And honestly, what I like to say is something like this, because you're going to be asking questions and you're trying to prod a little bit. You're trying to get them to talk about their family, talk about things that are personal to them. And we do that for the simple fact of trying to build that relationship. So what I like to say is something like, hey, Mr. Prospect, we believe the best way to do business is to have long-term relationships with our clients. And I hope that doesn't sound like just your run-of-the-mill cliche thing to say, but we honestly, we really mean that. And we don't work with everybody, and we just want to make sure that our personalities are similar and that we can work well together. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to maybe ask some very basic questions and get to know you better. Is that okay? And then like, okay, I tell you what, most companies are not doing this. This is something that makes us very unique. When we actually try to build that relationship, and they, sure, okay. And people who are very busy, they may be like, okay, yeah, just make it quick. And you can make it quick. You always have to adjust depending on who you're talking to. But a lot of times, these business owners are just gonna be like, okay, yeah, sure, that sounds great. So first question, can you tell me a little bit about your background? How did you get into landscaping? What made you want to step into this? Shut up and let them talk. They're going to talk about, hey, I had a job in high school, or my dad owned a landscaping company, or blah, 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 blah. Try to relate something to it. Like, oh, that's great. Yeah, like my uncle once worked at this job and he really enjoyed it. Blah blah blah. Just conversate. Next question. Why? This might be kind of a dumb question, but why do you want to be successful? Is it just to be wealthy? Is it to provide for your family? Is it to fulfill a deep-seated need to really reach a success level? Let them talk. See what they might say. Hey, like I really like working for myself, and it's been a joy of mine to service my customers. And what we're doing is we're finding out how the customer's mind works. You're learning. You have to be at a point where you are learning to listen to certain cues. Someone, they might be all about the money, okay? And these questions are specifically created to get them talking about something, okay? To get them talking about these deeper issues so you can figure it out later in the call how to sell to them. Okay, so you got to be listening. If someone is, hey, like I just wanted to be really successful, I wanted to be able to provide for my family, I wanted to I've always dreamed of being a millionaire. I think it's money, 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 which a lot of people are. Most people find fulfillment in money. So if it is about the money, then when you're selling and you're closing later on, you're going to talk about, talk about how to provide for the family. Talk it in the business owner's words. Okay, so these questions, the answers that they're going to be giving you are going to be, they're going to allude to how to close later. Okay, so just pay very close attention, listen. Okay, the fact that you already have your questions pre-done for you gives you the ability to listen instead of trying to think about what you're gonna say next. Because let's be honest, most of us suck at listening. We're always thinking about, like what should I say next? Oh, they said this. Oh, that reminds me of a story. And then like you're just waiting for the person to finish talking. Like, okay, I have this story to tell. It's really funny. And you have no idea what they said for the last 30 seconds. We don't have to do that here. Okay, you already know what you're gonna ask next. You can conversate with them, feel comfortable, listen. Okay, next question. Tell me a little about your family. Are you married, kids? This is where you got to keep good notes. Get their kids' names. Ask for their names. Like, oh, that's, I got 3 kids. Oh, that's great. How old are they? 8th grade, 6th grade, 2nd grade. Oh, that's awesome. Boys or girls? Like, you just want to go straight to the name. That's just creepy. Boys or girls? Oh, well, a lot of times they'll actually say like, oh, well, I have 2 boys and 1 girl, and like, oh, that's great. Are any of them? Did you name any of them after you? Are they junior? Like, oh no, like my son's name is Joe. My other son's name is Tim, and my daughter's name is Amanda. And so a lot of times they're just going to agree to that. And you're going to have to float this well, because if the business owner is not opening up, when you ask the name of their kids, that can just get weird. Sometimes you have to play this thing by ear. If you're getting a weird vibe from them, then obviously don't ask. Like, you don't want to come across as a creeper. Ask in a later call, like maybe 2 months down the road. you said, hey, how your kids doing? And I remember you had two sons and a daughter. I forgot, what were their names? And you can ask later on. Okay, so just don't be a creep. It's important to try to get to know the person, but they have to be open enough to let you come in and ask those questions. Okay. Next question is, when you're not working, what do you typically enjoy doing? So we're trying to get a sense for, is the person, are they a daring person? Are they super safe? If they're like, I really enjoy reading in my free time. I really enjoy long walks on the beach, or I really enjoy, walking with my wife, or whatever. Like, that's going to insinuate a guy is probably, if it's a guy, it's going to insinuate that he probably is a little bit more laid back. He's a little bit more even keel. He's not, a super like assertive kind of a guy. Like, these things are going to tell you so much about the person. Okay, if he says like, yeah, man, I'm huge into, I love traveling and I love parties and I mean, granted, most of these business owners are probably going to be like 35 and above, but you never know. I mean, it could be like, I love Chiefs games. I love NFL games. NFL games, anyone who's like a big NFL fan is usually, it's so stereotyping, but a lot of times big NFL fans who go to the games are usually going to be a little bit more boisterous. They're going to be a little bit more like, like, I guess most of the time I would say that is the case. I don't know like what city you're in, but Chiefs fans here, yeah, they're all pretty much like that. But but yeah, I mean, if they do like sports, that's going to probably say like, hey, they are a little competitive. So that could tell you that whenever you're closing later on, you might be able to use that as a platform. You're like, hey, like I know, like, so you're a big NFL fan, big Chiefs fan, and we're all about competition too. And so basically you can use that as a platform to jump off on and just relate to them. All of these questions are meant to be used later during the close. Make sense? Okay, so after you ask those questions, that's when you want to start moving into the educational side of things. You don't want this section to really last more than 10 or 15 minutes. If it just really, you don't want to waste your time because you don't know if they're going to be a purchaser yet. And you do want to grow that relationship. You just got to find balance. Okay, so now you want to say, well, hey, well, let me go ahead and tell you a little more detail about what we do and why this may be a really good fit for you. Is that okay? So they're like, sure, yeah. So now we educate them. So you've already watched that video. Educate them on the process. Do not talk about the details. Don't say like, oh, this is how we rank a website. We do keywords. We do title tags. They don't give a crap, okay? Like, they just want to know the process. They want to know, how are you going to like, how does this work? How do you just get a website and it sends me leads? That's when you discuss, hey, like, well, we build a website, we get the website ranking on Google, and then we have this phone number where we'll set up and we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll point the leads on to you, and then you just basically explain the process, everything that we talked about in the educational video. And the next thing, this is key, once you're done explaining that, you need to ask, does this make sense? Do you have any questions? I put this in all caps. Make sure that they understand. I can't tell you how many people will say no to something because they simply don't understand it. They might be embarrassed that they don't understand it. And you need to give them a platform, a safe platform to ask questions in a way that does not make them feel stupid. You do not want to talk so far over their head that they're like, what's SEO? And then they feel bad asking that, which you shouldn't have been, you should have never mentioned the word SEO anyway. But yeah, anyway, you just don't want to make them feel dumb, and just ask that. It's a very nice thing, and a lot of times they're going to have those questions. Well, how much is this going to cost me? Do I own the website? Where, they might have just random questions like, well, I have this landscaping business, and on Tuesdays we take the truck out to the dump, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but people have the strangest questions sometimes. So anyway, you want to ask those questions, address all their concerns right there. And now here's where we start going into the close, okay? So we always want to compliment them first and be very genuine about it. This is where you needed to be listening very, very well during the get to know you time. Find something that you genuinely appreciate about the person. And this is a good life lesson where you can always find something that you love about someone. And you're going to find that it might be a little tricky to find, in a 10-minute conversation, but you can find something. It says, hey, like, it might be that they're like, you can tell there's a really good mom or a really good dad. Like, you can tell, like, just in the way that they were talking about their kids. They're amazing. Okay, they have a really good head on their shoulders for how to parent, and you can genuinely appreciate that. So what I like to do is find something like that and then compliment them for it. So say something like this. We say, well, I can say that I really do think that this would be a really good fit. You seem very trustworthy and good at what you do, and it's exactly what we're looking for. And not to mention, I think you would be a great person to work with. And I do have to say, just on a side note, that you sound like an amazing dad. I know that may sound a little weird, but like, I talk to a lot of business owners, and I've talked to a lot of people who are dads, and you just seem like you genuinely love your kids. And I just wanted to say, like, I really adore that, and I wish that there were more people like you. So anyway, and like, you want to brush right over it pretty quickly. You don't want to like make it all sappy and weird. And like, anyway, so with everything that I've presented to you, is this something that maybe you'd want to pursue? And they're gonna be like, first off, they're gonna be so taken back by the fact that you just complimented them. And again, this is a two-bird, one-stone deal where you're genuine because you're trying to build a relationship and you want to build a relationship. You're very genuine in that, but we just pre-framed. A pre-frame is when you put someone in a certain mental state for when you come around for an ask. Okay, so when you pre-frame someone, you are preparing their mind. It's the same way where we're trying to get the person to say yes, yes. If someone comes to, we'll use this as an example. So let's say you're online and you read a whole blog article about, let's say it's about me. Let's say you read a whole blog article about how I'm a sleazebag, a liar, I cheat people out of money, all this stuff. And then you click on the link, takes you over to my website where I'm trying to sell products. Are you gonna buy from me? Heck no. You're like, this dude's a scam artist. I ain't touching this. Whereas, and I could have all the most convincing thing. I could tell you I'm a saint. I could tell you I could tell you I'm the best person in the whole world on my website, and it would not matter because you were pre-framed in such a way that you have absolutely zero interest in buying from me. And the same is true if you were to read a blog saying that I am Mother Teresa. I am literally the Dalai Lama. I am like the best, most exquisite, I'm like royalty. Now when you come over to my website, you're like, oh, man, this person's amazing. I should really buy from them. The pre-framing that happens in a person's mind before they come in and make a decision it's an integral part of sales. And this happens in any type of selling. If it's in person, if it's online, if it's over the phone, we always have to pre-frame before we go in for the ask. And your ability to pre-frame is often the crux of your ability to sell. If you don't pre-frame right, they're going to say no. And when you compliment them, when you are genuine about what you're doing, and you did a great job of educating them, and you built that relationship, you have now pre-framed them, you're bringing them down this funnel, they are now in a perfect state to say yes. And obviously they're not always going to say yes, but what you're doing is you're increasing your chances exponentially. So when you pre-frame before the ask, when you come in and you compliment them, you distinctly point out something specific about them, and then you go in for the ask. Is this something that you would maybe want to be, is this something that you maybe want to pursue? And they're like, you know what, this does sound good. What's the catch? Right here, boom. Number 5, close, close, close. What is that? We're addressing objections. So this is where what's the catch? How much does it cost? I don't know if I can afford that. This is on the prospecting phone list where we have all those objections. That's where you need to study those. I didn't even put them on this document because you need to know those like the back of your hand. When you're selling, you've got to know those objections. You've got to know on the fly how to react to those. You can't be like, oh, just 1 second. Let me go to my Google Doc and I'm going to read this off to you. No, you got to know it by heart. You got to know how to address those those concerns and those objections. So you're going to need to study this, okay? You need to know this. This has got to be something that you understand. And I will tell you this, these objections that you're going to get revolve around an overarching, as a salesperson, if you understand how to address these objections, it doesn't matter what you're selling. If you sell for us for a week and you learn these concepts, you can go sell anything. I don't care if you're trying to sell a freaking pen to, I don't know, it's just the thing that was right there. You can sell pens to people in the street. I don't know. If you get good at addressing objections, you can really sell anything. Obviously, it goes down to what we talked about before about pre-framing and so forth. Okay, so one of the biggest ones that we often see is, well, you know, $1,000 a month, I don't even know how do I know that this is even going to work? I don't know that I want to sign on to something that's, you know, a 12-month contract for $1,000 a month. Like, I don't even know if this is going to work. Some people will be like, oh yeah, let's do it. So you need to address that. When someone says, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that, you immediately go to this. You say, you know, like, first off, the monthly plan won't even start until you get your first lead. So it typically takes 2 to 5 months to get the website ranking, and from there, we're not actually going to charge you that monthly fee until we send you that first lead. So there's that. But then also, what I can do for you, and we don't do this for everybody, but I genuinely like you, and I think you'd be a great fit for us. We can do a 3-month. Kind of a 3-month trial period where we do a 20% revenue sharing. So anything that comes through our lead generation website, we'll take 20% of. So you won't pay a dime unless we send you business. How does that sound? I'm like, okay, yeah. And then, you know, obviously we're getting them into our funnel. They're going to get hooked on the leads, and then we're going to be able to come up and sell them a 12-month package after the 3-month trial period. We've done that before. It's worked out really well. And it also kind of gives us a better understanding for how much to charge them. So, you know, if we go in and we sell a roofing company on a 20% rev share, and on the 20% rev share for those 3 months, we've generated $8,000, $10,000, and $12,000. We're probably going to say, hey, like, let's moving forward. How does a $10,000 a month deal sound? Cool. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. Last thing I'll leave you with is just be genuine, okay? If you're not feeling genuine, if you're running low on your genuine juice, then go take a run. Go work out. Go surf. Go climb a mountain. Take a day off. Do something. Like, you have to be genuine to sell. And you just, I mean, I from personal experience, I've been in bad moods, and I'm like, hey, you know, trying to make these phone calls, and it just doesn't turn out well. Like, my mental state is not in a positive, I'm not in a positive state. It's like, I can't sell. And obviously, you know, like, you have the ability to absolutely change your thinking on a dime. I truly believe that. It's just a decision that you make. Obviously, if it were that easy, then everybody could do it. So theoretically, you can do it. And it just kind of comes down to the power of your own mind. So anyway, I don't need to get into the whole psychology side of things, but that pretty much does it. So this is the interview call. Again, this is it. I mean, this is where we go in for the close. This can all happen in one phone call. This could happen in person. You know, I'm not going to do another training to do it in person. You kind of know how this generally works now. You would basically take this exact same process and apply it to an in-person meeting. You're going to get to know them. You're going to educate them. Then you're going to go into their concerns, and you're going to compliment them. So that pretty much does it. I'm going to go ahead and end this here, and I'll see you in the next video.